Yo, what's happening, everybody's Wednesday nights. We in here. The experience back at you. It's your guy, Tyrone, a.k.a. Mr. Chocolate. Back at it again. We got a gang of folks tonight. All right. So I got the big homie Black Pearl is in the building.
Hey, guys.
Right. Yes, sir. And we got the doctor. I said the doctor's in the house. Dr. Roy Rain, what's good?
Listen, man, I'm all discombobulated. I'm gonna have to go off the screen and come back. We gonna try to give a what up, family?
Oh, it's no judgment. It's no judgment. It's
no judgment.
All right. So
okay,
we got the return of Miss Tay. All right. So,
hey.
So you know her from, y'all know her from. She got them.
Don't do that, baby, because we way more than toys. Okay.
I'm playing. I'm joking.
Did you do the sound effects, bro?
It's all out of love. It's all out of love.
I was like, wait a minute, this sound effects.
But
check out. I got that. I appreciate it.
Check out Pleasure Plug. I won't lie, but check out Pleasure Plug. It's more than that, though. It's bigger than that. All right. And we got the big homie D Rod the Prophet. What's going on, brother?
He the poet.
What'd I say? I said prop.
You said he the prophet. You give me
the poet. You looked at me like, bro, you can't read.
My man.
Let's introduce him again. Okay? Let's introduce him again. Go ahead.
D Rod the Poets. What's going on, brother?
Another day in paradise.
Apologies. All right. And we got the big homie Zay. What's happening with you, brother?
What's going on? Nothing much. How y'all?
I'm good. All right. So, man.
So what's the house, man? What's the word for tonight?
All right.
So here's what's going on, right? So lately, been interacting with women, my ladies. Hey, ladies. Saying like, the reason why they're single is because men can't handle a strong woman. And then they're meeting these people that, when they, get to know that they're about their business, that men go running because they prefer the weak woman that will take whatever, from whatever. So the question that we are going to tackle today is, are men really intimidated by strong women? That's
okay.
Where we're at today. That's where we at. What y'all think?
All right. So since women are not a monolith, right?
Yeah.
What exactly is a strong woman in particular? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to shift from case to case basis and from woman to woman.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we all have our own definition. So my experience, again, since I'm talking about the women that I've interacted with, some of the women have, of course, good jobs. I mean, I don't know too many people who don't have a job that's going to call themselves strong, but, well off financially, or at least, got their own source of income. They're not relying on anybody. If they got kids, they're making it work. Maybe they got their own house, because a couple of them have their own house. So most of the things that I am hearing define a strong woman, just being real with you, is about stability, their ability to be stable without the reliance of a man or male or the government. Wait, because I gotta remember one person said that, or the government. So yeah, that's so far. I mean, unless y'all got a different definition.
If that's a definition, hell no, ain't nobody intimidated by that.
I said, if you have a different definition, you just went ahead and said, hell no, nobody's intimidated by that. What you think, Tay?
I just don't like the idea of a woman not being able to do, things on her own, and then it be portrayed as a negative thing. So I say that because I've been in one of those situations. He didn't use the term strong, but I've had a guy communicate to me that he was intimidated by what I had, or the things that I did, I was kind of able to do freely, because I had the funds.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't, I don't know, he didn't use the word intimidated either, but that was my interpretation because of the conversation we had and the things that he shared. But he just felt like he wasn't ready for someone like me. I don't even know what that means. But I didn't, at first it made me feel away, but I understood it, and I appreciate.
Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties.
Technical. Well, let me speak on some of what Tay was saying. So myself in the dating world have encountered men who the word wasn't intimidated, like she said, also. But myself, I've had interactions where men are like, I mean, what do you need a man for? Right? You got your own house. You're taking care of your kids, you're doing all this other stuff. You have a car, you have a good position. And I'm just like, all of those are things that I attained through working hard.
Yeah.
Not like it doesn't make me into this chiseled square of strength. Oh, I got a good job. I got whatever. However, I later came to see that was all they had to offer. Like they were used to dealing with women when they go, look, I got money. And they're like, ooh, they're excited about it. So I have encountered that, but I had to really look at the quality of the man that I was allowing to be in my energy, in my circle, to go, you're intimidated because you feel that's a man's thing, like having money is a man's thing or whatever. So
Okay. So
go ahead.
if you take a couple steps back and look at it, right? You have certain environments, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you have certain environments where in the pursuit of a woman, a man might be told, well, you know what I'm saying, a man needs to be a provider. Now, if that's the only thing that I am, the only thing that I provide, and you're already providing that, and you're letting me know that, hey, I can do all of this, I can do all this, and I can do all this myself, in a dating setting, it seems like, okay, if he's honest with himself and says, you know what, I probably can't compete with that if that's what my role is and that's all that I can contribute, then yeah. See, the thing about it is, why are we mad when people tell them or tell us that they're not the person that we're looking for at that given moment?
I don't think it comes across that way. I think a lot of times there's a lack of accountability. Like, I don't want that versus you are this or you have that. Does that make sense? It's more of your lack is why I can't be with you versus we just don't mesh. Our 1 and 1 doesn't make 2, if that makes sense.
Right, but I'm not saying that it's fact or I even follow it. What I'm saying is, if you look at it as a situation, if you're constantly being told that I don't need you in a dating setting, like if you feel like that and you walking around and we out having drinks or whatever, and you don't need a man, all right, cool. But if we are trying to get to know each other in a dating setting, and the only thing that you're telling me is that you don't need me, then it's not so much that a person is intimidated by a strong woman. It's just that if you're so strong that you don't want a man in your life, then why am I even trying to be there?
Absolutely. But is that how it's communicated? See, I think when some women hear, you're too strong, or, I'm just, that's not what I want. It's because it also comes with I could do this myself. We project that we're so strong. We build this wall. Like, I've been doing this by myself. So you got to top whatever's happening, but I'm not really open for that either because I'm self-sufficient. Does that make sense?
When you die yourself on the side of that wall.
Mr. Chocolate, man, what you got to say, man? I already know you got something on deck.
like the whole, I got a wall. You can be alone as hell on the other side of that wall. Right. You need to figure that out. You need to get a masonry or something to tear that wall down. So when you men don't really care about if a guy's successful, he don't really care about how much money you got. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't care. Like, I think some women get real hyped up on that. Look, I'm a boss. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Now that's cool for you individually, but in the dating standpoint, like most dudes don't care. Like they don't care about your money. If they got money, if they doing okay, they you know they provide. They don't really care, you know. So it's more about the other stuff, like what kind of peace you bring, what kind of what are you loyal? Are you you know it's other stuff. It's not monetarily, So a lot of that conversation, now unless you get like a bum couch
And I'm
PS5
just
guy
saying,
who's like,
yes.
and
Mhm.
you said somebody got excited when they said you had money. I'm like, ugh, I don't know that tribe of men.
And that's what I'm saying. So there's a different caliber of men out there. There are men, again, I'm going to talk from my dating experience, like in the first hour that we're talking, like, hey, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And then when I name a position, they like hyped. Ooh, word. Oh, you about that life. That is always a red flag for me.
Oh, no.
That's always like, wait. No.
Get out of there.
And I'm back. I'm together now. I had to rig up some stuff, family. How y'all doing? All right, loves. So, I heard Dee talking earlier about the woman that goes around and boasting. I think that Dee, did you mention that a few minutes ago? Just boasting about having this and I don't need you and this kind of thing.
Well, I was trying to go into a situation where you're saying, because they were saying that a person is intimidated by money. So I'm trying to look at what type of situation in which a man would be intimidated by a woman speaking about finances, where it's not so much the finances, but again, it's like trying to find a place in this relationship.
Thank you. Okay. So for me, when I hear intimidation, I don't think a man is intimidated by a strong woman based on our definition. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of the fact that you feel like you need to throw it in somebody's face. Because as a man, even though I'm not a man, but I have a man mentality. I always say that all the time.
She does.
I do. The thing is, if all I hear from you is, even if we're equal partners, but as a man, if all I hear is, well, I got this and I do this and it's I. Well, dag on it, if you got all these eyes, then there is no me. There is no we.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do, as Brother D said, that ain't got nothing to do with the financial aspect of it. It's I think of Roscoe Jenkins. You are a team of I. There is no we. So
sounds
therefore,
like you want to be alone.
If you want to be alone, then let me go ahead and oblige you. Because what is my significance in your life? That has nothing to do with a man being intimidated. And I need women to understand that. It's a matter of you boasting and feeling like you need to have a certain place. Maybe, and because ultimately it boils down to them being insecure with themselves. It has nothing to do with the brother. Let's be clear.
It's a defense mechanism.
I was just thinking the same thing. If a man is intimidated by a strong woman, I feel like that's more of an insecurity that he has within himself.
Well,
I agree with that.
That's the wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Because what happened with that situation was I had been to his place and then he had been to mine. So it was like clear, like nothing was said. I'm not that type of person to do the boasting thing, but like it's clear, I have a certain job and whatever, I make a certain amount of money, but like he felt a way and he was clear about that when he communicated it. So again, that's what I, appreciated about the truth. And that, because everybody doesn't do that. Right. They'll just ghost you. That's happened too. But I appreciated the, the communication and the transparency, because I just would have thought like, well, damn, what did I do? I would have probably internalized it and was like, oh, well, it was something I did. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
but it don't always turn out like that.
it kind of sounds like that guy too. Like there's a societal expectation of men, like you're supposed to have it together, and be able to handle business within a home. And if some men see that they ain't gonna be there, like they're gonna save themselves that embarrassment or try to get themselves together before they get back into something serious. Because that's an expectation. That's just
I agree with that. But again, and then I'll say I never did anything either to make him feel that way, and that's another thing he communicated. Because I'm like, it was just something within himself, and that was, those are the things that are green flags, right? Like that's, it just wasn't. It was cool. We just parted ways. It wasn't time,
Mhm.
and I'm good.
And some women want to take on the male role, which is again,
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. No.
which again, I'm pro male right now.
But you right.
But some women want to take on, the role of being that head in that house, or and again, learn how to stay in your lane. Again, if you want to be by yourself, if you want to be the head, then God bless you. But again, that one thing has nothing to do with the other. So don't throw it out as, oh, you're intimidated by me, Zay, because this, that, and the third. No, love, I'm not intimidated by you at all. You apparently are intimidated by yourself.
Sometimes it's just you recognize that, like, for me to get to know this person, it's going to be a fight. And I don't want to have to fight you to get to know you. I have a choice. I can do it.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not going to deal with it.
Yeah, I have a choice. I can do it, but I'm not. Nah, I'm good.
I think
that's the beauty in dating, though.
Some people get that confused. I ain't scared or intimidated. I ain't just dealing with that shit.
Right.
I holler at somebody else.
I think from what. Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
I was just saying, it's not intimidation. It's just standards. When you get to a certain, my pastor said it tonight. When you sit there and you fight and you hustle and you get your job and you get your house, you get your car and all that, you have certain standards. Some things you're going to deal with, certain things you're not going to deal with. Just like I had the way my person set up, I wouldn't be able to do anything with a weak-minded woman. I need a strong woman. Otherwise, I'm hurt your feelings a lot. Because I'm brutally honest. But on the flip side of it, I also know I was also raised that being a provider as a man is more than just monetary. So if you got the money, that's perfect. That's fine. I'm not intimidated by that. But I'm also the type of person that is going to be like, a couple should be able to build an empire together. But there's men out there that feel that they have that personality where they have to feel needed.
But you could be needed with more than money.
Right. I'm not the type of guy. I don't want my woman to need me, because if I'm not going to be here for your entire life, or you might be here for my entire life. But my whole thing is, if I drop tomorrow, especially if we got kids, if I drop tomorrow, what I'm gonna do? What is a minded woman gonna do without me if she needed me her entire life? Now the kids are sitting there trying to figure out what is mommy doing, and mommy can't focus because the person they needed is no longer there.
Gotcha.
And there's men that need to feel needed. I'm not one of them men. I
think what a lot of single people get confused about that whole topic is needing. Like when you're with somebody and you love somebody, like that, there's all kinds of ways that you need each other. But people make it more serious than it is. Like it's so like me, like emotionally, you may need the other person. When my wife's out of town, I miss her, and need a presence. It's a peaceful presence for me. I need that. She need that from me. It's not that, we take these things as like ego stuff, like, oh, if I say I need somebody, it's gonna seem like if they're not there, I can't function. Yeah, sure. Like if you separate, that woman's gonna adjust, that man's gonna adjust, but in the relationship, it's good to feel needed, to let people know that you need each other in different ways. We let our egos get in the way of progress in these relationships, I feel like.
Absolutely.
So I want to go back to the definition part for a different reason. I think I went through levels of strength, and what I mean by that is who I was when I was being strong right after my divorce, and coming from that situation, who I was in the healing stages post marriage, post divorce is not the same strong that I am now. The strong that I see in some of my sisters is a defensive strong, is a you're not gonna screw me over ever again. I've been in bad situations. I hardened myself and went out there and used that pain, disappointment, or whatever that is to kind of drive my passion to never go back to that situation or to do better. Right. And so in that process, we also call it healing, which is not, just letting y'all know, y'all don't want to hear it, but that's what it is. It's not, you're hardening yourself. You got your wall up, you like, I wish someone would do that to me again. And so when you meet this new person, it's almost like you're like, I'm a good catch because I have this resume of qualifications, right? I got my own house, I got my own car, my kids did this, but right. So you're like, these are reasons why you can't say that I need you and you can't disappoint me and disappear. And so we use that in a projection to be strong. Like, why wouldn't you want me? I got myself together, I got a house, I got a whatever. Well, the problem with that is we're projecting and we see ourselves projecting that we have all these things and we're a good catch. But I feel like the man is sensing the wall, I'm talking to a wall. We're not going to be able to collaborate and build because you saying, I got my shit together alone. There's nothing to build. Right. And I think at that point, when the man turns around and he's like, look, I'm good because, you're not looking for a partnership. You're not looking for me to join your life. It comes across as this man doesn't want me because I'm too strong for him. And at that point, that is not effective communication because a woman leaves thinking I'm strong. And that's what the problem is. And the guy's looking at you like, no, you just don't have a space for me to be with you. You're so strong. I can't get past the wall to be your partner. I'm over here almost like we're competing. We're going to be competing all the time. And who wants to deal with that? Right?
Well, I mean, here's the thing about it. The logic of it is you're so strong and you're so independent. And that means you can take care of yourself. Great. But you're here on a date for a reason.
True.
Right. There's something that you wanted or needed that was not there, and you're trying to find it. So try to find that and not jump out, like you say, I guess, when you're still in the hardening stage versus the healing stage, because the healing stage comes after that. You know what I'm saying? You got scars, you got, what is it? Scabs that come over cuts or whatever, but eventually those go away, soft skin returns. Yeah. But until it's there, it can always become another open wound. So timing and understanding yourself and where you are is important. And you can't just sum up a person's unwillingness to have to battle you in getting to know you as a person not being strong enough to deal with a strong woman, so to speak.
Yeah, but being strong does not mean there needs to be an absence of vulnerability. And I think that's what pushes the right man, because you're going to attract some of the wrong away, is there's a absence of vulnerability and an excessive amount of this image of strength. I don't think we see that when we're in the healing stage.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
As always, Auntie.
and hey, hey, fellow friend down in the corner.
What's up, KB? That's my boy KB. I invited him in.
So
we'll get to you in a second, brother.
So playing devil's advocate, as a woman who is strong, I'm being open, I'm being vulnerable. I'm letting you know how I feel. I'm letting you know what my position is. Okay, I'm showing you who I am. So why is it that in me being vulnerable, it's interpreted as it's interpreted in a way that I feel like you are intimidated by me, because I'm telling you who I am. I'm telling you where I'm coming from. I'm sharing all of these things with you. It's not that I'm trying to have a debate with you, but I just sense that you are intimidated by the fact that I can be this transparent. So what's your deal? What's wrong with you?
So you're telling.
I'm telling you that I do have these things. I'm telling you that I want a relationship, but in me being vulnerable and sharing this, you, the man, you're getting an attitude with me and feeling some kind of way because of the fact that I'm being transparent. I'm telling you what the deal is.
Well, that's different from what we were saying with somebody coming and saying, I don't need no man and I can do everything by myself.
That's me being transparent. I'm telling you, I don't need a man. I want you, but
Okay,
I don't need a man. But what happens is when I do that, when I do that, the brother gets intimidated.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So if you don't need a man, what is the purpose of going out, and like what is your mission of going out to these
I want a relationship. That's not the issue.
But that can I just say,
you want a relationship
regardless,
with who?
They don't want to hear that.
With a man?
You can't tell a man that.
Who do you want a relationship with?
Go ahead, D, because I think D got where I'm going.
No, I got where she's going. The same way we were saying that there are women at different levels in this meeting of a person stating that, you know, there's a conflict between a strong person and a person accepting a person as being quote unquote strong.
Yes.
Men are also on different levels. So we have to also quantify this by stating that, like, okay, there are some men who do not need to be out dating.
Facts.
Right? There's some people who do not need to be out dating, both men and women, right? But I think what the good doctor is saying is there are also going to be situations where a woman is not so much coming off as being strong or intimidating. It's just that this person is now recognizing that they are not in a position where they're up to it. And they can either try and fake it, or they can try and exit, or they can try and flip the script and make the other person feel a type of way if they're a manipulative person.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to take all of those out of the equation, because this question is of men who are saying that they're intimidated by strong women. And none of us on this panel, I feel, fall into that lower level of brother. So I don't know if we can intelligently speak from that aspect.
I don't know that tribe.
And it may be an abrasive. Thank you, Facebook user. Who is that? But thank you, Facebook user, Mr. Rivera, Michael. Thank you so much, Michael, for that comment. Yes, it may be abrasive, but if that is my delivery, because I'm confident in what where I am.
Deliveries can be adjusted.
But it's me. This is me, and I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm good. But I do want you. I do. I want this relationship, but I'm good.
If you want somebody, you might not want to lead with saying how you don't need them. Yeah. Hey, it's okay. Tell that man, if you want that man, tell that man you need to make him feel good.
Let's
too good to do that. We got too much ego to do that.
But why do I have to massage you? Why do I have to massage you?
Wait. Can we pause for a second?
I'm a massage back. I'm
hear what KB gotta say.
What's up? We can have a good massage therapy session.
Let's get KB in the rotation.
Yes, I'm sorry, KB. Come on,
KB. We just iced you out.
What you think?
Nah, you good, man. I'm just. Can y'all hear me good?
We can.
Yeah, I was just listening, man. I don't know where to start. I mean, I guess you could say. I mean, I could start with the comment I put on Facebook earlier, but I get to that later. But as far as the need and want, and I'm not really directing it towards you, Doctor, but when I hear people
I'm married,
say,
I'm good. I'm just playing.
No. I know you are. I'm just saying, I don't want you to be like, hey, I don't want you to be like, hold on now. But nah.
She be like, almost 20 years, boo.
No,
I know she need that man.
She need that man.
But no, but when you hear, I'm gonna say more single women say they don't need a man.
Yep.
From my perspective, it's almost like the word need has been used as a sign of weakness.
Yes.
And when you hear people say, I don't need you, I mean, look, if you married, there are points in that man you need, and there's points in that woman that you need. Like for me, I'll be honest, I can't cook worth nothing. So I need somebody to help me in the kitchen. I'm being honest. You know, I was spoiled growing up in that area. I had a mom and 2 sisters. I never had a need to cook. But I mean, I'm not saying if I go in the kitchen, I'm clueless, but I'm just saying, hey, this is what I need. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think vice versa, there's certain things of a man that you desire, that you want, and that you need. But I think society has taken that word and made it a weakness.
Absolutely.
And I really don't understand why, but There's nothing wrong with that. It's not, I mean, it doesn't mean a man is going to take advantage of it. Now, you do have some out in the sea that will try to take advantage of you, but for the most part, most men don't want that. Most men desire, I think what you were saying earlier, Tyrone, as far as, tell me that. What I learned some years back is that men, they're like little boys. We want to be told this stuff. You think about it, if you got little boys, they want to be told, that's a good job you fixed on putting that car together. That's a good job when you went out here and do that. We want to hear that stuff. It don't mean we weak.
Absolutely.
But we want
to
just like women want to be told they're pretty and feel desire,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But
is that not a thing too?
I'm gonna agree with KB. We have gotten into this, and I don't see it as much in other cultures. I definitely see it amongst us Black women because we have to be strong in so many other avenues that we don't realize when we find the right person. And I just want to highlight that, find the right person in that safe space. It's okay to put all of that stuff down and just be soft, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But absolutely, yes, society has made the word need we're allergic to that word. Like, I don't need nothing. But in actuality, and I can speak for women in my circle too, there is a need. There's a need to feel like I can rely on you. There's a need to feel wanted, to feel beautiful. Yes, you dress up for yourself, but not so much. You know what I mean? Like, you want that. You want that I'm valued, but in actuality, you need that to keep going as well. So I think that there is a hidden message in society of you shouldn't need anything. You should be this self-made, independent person or woman. And that becomes part of the wall between building with the right. And I want to keep saying that, with the right person, because the wrong person will make you believe that you're not too strong. And then when they can't match your energy, try to break you down to say the problem is you're strong, you're independent, whatever. And I think that's what a lot of women are interacting with. Weak men who got mommy issues that have not resolved their mommy issues, and they want to project them on you, period. That's me.
On the flip side of that,
Come on.
I also see that as well. But on the flip side of that, I feel like there's a generation of, I know we're saying men, but for me, a man and a boy are two different things.
Okay.
And I feel like there's a generation of boys that women come across where they feel like they have to be the man in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And they deal with little boys and continuously deal with little boys over and over and over again. So then when they come across a real man, they treat that man like it's a boy, because that's just what they've been coming across. And I think that's where it kind of becomes unattractive to a real man. Because, yeah, you might not need a man, but you've been so used to having to be the man because you've been dealing with little boys that you don't know how to really treat the man.
I can see that too. Or have been exposed to a household where you watch.
Communication is more than just talking. If you're talking and you don't want to listen, then you don't know how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just throwing opinions at me, oh, I don't need you, I do this, I do that, great, but you suck at communication.
Facts.
So if you knew how to real man, then you would realize that real men aren't intimidated by strong women. You've just been dealing with little boys for so long that you don't know how to communicate and treat an actual man for you. And like you said, for the lack of a better word, even a strong woman should know how to humble herself. And some women, when they hear humble, they cringe and like, I don't humble to no. That's part of the problem. That's why you're
humble is related to being submissive.
Exactly.
Oh Lord, you say submissive. Oh God. Oh Lord, that's just the worst thing ever.
But you can be a strong woman, but if you know how to humble yourself, then you're gonna attract a real man who's not intimidated by your strongness.
All right, so I was gonna mention this, the submissive word. So what do you ladies think about when people say women should be submissive in a relationship?
Let's start with Tay. You want to take that because you've been kind of quiet. So do you want to talk about submission?
Cause y'all listen,
your
y'all.
definition of submission. You don't have to. We could
Hold on, don't do that. I know. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the submission y'all talking about, but
no. What you think submission?
She said this submission y'all talking about.
we listen. Y'all come to BDSM tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the other type.
No, we ain't talking about
But-
that. No,
All right,
we ain't talking about
exactly.
You
If you want
tying
to
me
hear
up.
about that, you come
No.
in. But
No,
right
trying
now,
that. We'll have to talk about that another time. Go ahead.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
but no, I mean, listen, I'm excited about submission. Because I've had to be like so like strong and independent, you know, most of my life, and it has nothing to do with the man. It's just, it was my family situation, it was my situation, and it was the choices that I made for my life. So yeah, I'm here for submitting, child. I just listen. As long as you leading, I'm following. Period. Yeah, I'm down for submitting. I'm not like one of those. I don't need. No, I do. I need that. I need
Absolutely.
that. I need to feel safe in your arms. I absolutely need. I need to feel safe emotionally. I need to be able to talk to you and tell you I feel a way about anything. If I catch an attitude, dead that. I need you to find a way to gently dead that attitude.
She said
okay?
dead.
Okay.
No, gently, because I'm sensitive, okay? And I know that about myself, and I communicate that as well. So yeah, I'm here for it. Absolutely. What you need?
We got to find you. Okay.
Well, okay. So Roy, you
that.
want to talk about what submission is to you? Listen, Tay done wrap some of this up, but go ahead.
What submission is to me?
Yeah.
One word: humility. And I'll pass the mic, but one word.
Okay.
She's like, but I don't think submission is hard. I think it comes with trust. You know, if you trust that person to take you to where, you know, where it's supposed to be going, trust them to lead, trust in their vision. I want to echo what Tay was saying. It's like, of course you want to submit to the right person. And the key word is the right person. You know, you want to humble yourself. You want to say, baby, I was wrong. You want to feel safe in their arms, feel safe in their vision for you as a couple or a family, depending on what stage you are. I think the problem is we don't get to the trust part. And then we're looking for the submission part. We're looking for the humility. We're looking for the vulnerability. I think submitting could be something as simple as, baby, this is not where we need to live. We need to be here. Or I have a business seed that I want to plant, but it has to be here. And you go, you know what? I don't need to go, but I got this and I got that and I got this and I got that. I got to be like, I trust where you're taking us. I feel that you're building for us, not just for you. Let me follow. Right. And most of the time, the right man is not like, yeah, come behind me. The right man's like, let's do this together. And I think in that moment where you're like, I know that no matter what you're building, you have me in mind. You submit, you follow, you say, all right, baby, wherever you go, I'm there. Just like if I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, I don't like this. You're like, what's the attitude about? Because let me lovingly yoke you up and make it. It's still a submission, you know. It's still a submission. So I guess it goes with that, you know, like submit to the good, because you know everyone submits to the good, to the sex, to the blah blah blah, but also the bad one to be checked, to be realigned, and vice versa. I feel submission could be on both sides. It could be balanced. Your man could submit to you a little too. You know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I say this all the time. Like men submit all the time. Is nothing more submissive than saying, "Yo, I'm going to give up my manly natural ways of running the streets to be with only you. I'm going to submit, and for you, I'll lay my life down. I'm going to protect you at all costs in our family. My money, I'm going to use for this family." That's submissive, man. That's submitting. So we all submit, but I think it gets kind of misconstrued sometimes. And then we got some men who think submitting is, I'm the man, so I'm the boss. But you ain't got no direction. You ain't making no bread. You ain't like, it's pressure to have that. it's pressure. If you want that, you got to be able to step up and be that dude that's gonna be able to lead. And if you can't, you gotta be like Tay's guy, be like, hey, I gotta exit real quick. He ain't there, So I mean, yeah.
Are we willing to invest the amount of time to know a person enough to know that hows and whens to apply that? Because I'm listening to what Tay's saying, and absolutely, it makes absolute sense. And I'm sure that there are some brothers out there who probably want to step up and take that role, but they have to know how to interact with you, because how they interacted with the last woman has absolutely nothing to do with Tay.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, I think that that's just something that we take for granted. We really want to rush into relationships and have thoughts that we know people when we don't. And then we also want to hold people accountable for them supposing to know us, and they don't. Like, if it's so easy and so quick to figure you out, then anybody could have had you.
Facts. That's a whole mic drop right there, D.
No, say that for real, because
that's the truth.
I get looked at like, why you still single? Because I wanna be. You know what I mean? Like, so that. But I'm saying there's a positive like turn on it. I don't like that connotation. It's like let's switch the narrative on that, because it's not a bad thing sometimes. Sometimes you just haven't found the right person, right?
Yeah.
And you just it happens as soon as you open yourself up to it. Like for a long time I wasn't open. I'm open now. Like, but I just got open. Like I just started dating for real. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't thinking of it. That wasn't my mindset.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I remember having a conversation with you a while ago, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I remember some prior conversations with Tay. So
I was so quiet. I was like, hold on, she did okay.
Listen, when I saw the levity of the hand motion, I was like, okay, she's good. She's.
No, I'm just playing.
Scab is gone. She's back.
Yeah.
And she did it like real easy.
She's like lovingly.
First of all, listen. I only educate. That's my job. That's it, y'all. It's not about. I ain't about that life for real. But yeah.
Hey, Katie, brother, what you think about that?
Say what now?
Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I got a question. Okay, so we're talking submission, and submission usually goes hand in hand with marriage, right? So
not necessarily. But go ahead.
I know it doesn't. I'm just saying, but are we talking in the context of marriage or just relationships?
Relationships.
More relationships.
Okay. So I was going towards the marriage part of it. But so if you decide to date this man and decide to get married to him, let's just use both.
Okay.
And you've seen this man's qualities. Why would you question your submission if you dated this man 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, and then you say, I don't want to submit because of his ways? You know,
because we like to turn red flags orange and yellow and all different colors until it's too late.
True. But I guess I'm kind of leaning towards marriage, because you do hear a lot of married folks say the same thing, where this man has to show certain ways, he has to lead, he has to do certain things for me to submit. True. I never understood that part, because if he got on his knees and said I do, I'm sorry, he asked you to marry you, you said I will, you go through the process and say I do, you married him for a reason.
Well,
you married him for his qualities, you married him for his
some of us are more in love with the thought of being married than the person that we're marrying.
But
the title, the ring, that ego level stuff. Some people are more focused on that than the fact that this is a building process. It's a journey.
I agree. No, I agree 100%, but that's not his problem if she decides to say I do and he had problems going into the marriage, because once you get married, you pretty much said I accept it for who you are.
Yeah.
And then now you got to work on
Question, was the conversation had in the beginning about marriage? Because to me, like we talking about that. I don't care, because at this big age, it's the topic of conversation. I'm not saying you're the person I'm marrying, but if you don't have a vision for me, then I'm dating on purpose, right? So everybody's not, but you got to kind of know where you at too. If you're dating on purpose, like you need to be having those conversations. And if he don't see you in his vision for his life early on, then 6 months or a year down the road, you shouldn't be surprised. Or 2 years, you know what I mean? Is that what? So I was just wondering.
Oh, she's gone.
She's just wondering.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid, but it's not like an attack. It's just trying to figure out, because you hear so much about the submission, and I think, like you said, Black, is that women will kind of get into the infatuation of dating somebody, having somebody, going through the process, and then once they find out this guy got problems, now they want to change him, and he doesn't change. Now you got more problems, so you got to know how to, cut that loose right then and then. Realize, okay, this man ain't for me. He's not going to take me where I want to go. He's not going to take me where we want to go. But I do think the submission word kind of just, both men and women submit. I don't think, like you said earlier, Ty, most men willing to submit. We do. I mean, we take our money, we take our lives, we take a lot of things and say, hey, I'm giving it to you. We walk around like bums sometimes with old hand-me-down shoes and clothes, and we're like, here, I'm giving it to y'all. So that's a form of submission. But I mean, it's on both ends.
I'm gonna stay fresh. I'm gonna stay fresh now.
Hey man, look.
I just go to work. I go to work.
Maybe the issue is we do fall back. Some women, some people fall back into the I'm strong, I don't need anyone, and not realizing that when you're a part of a unit, when you're part of a partnership, you have to have those conversations, those tough conversations. Baby, I'm scared. Baby, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if I could do this. Hey, I thought I could afford, those hard conversations. I think we're just like, we have chemistry and the sex is good. And then we think this is what we're going to build our lifelong marriage on. And no. And then you go back into the I can't trust, I can't submit, because we're not communicating, we're not aligned. And so I go back into the defense mode that I don't need you, I don't need anything, I'm good standing alone.
That's a lonely place.
You can't communicate and you cannot be aligned because you do not know the person.
Thank you. Yeah. Because I was going to piggyback off of what DB said earlier, which is if you've been with this person and established a relationship, then during that period of dating, there was some submission taking place on both parties' behalf, or at least it should have been. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten from point A to point B, right? In order to go to C. So what's crazy in my mind is once we get to C, if we reach a point of getting married and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Where and why did all of a sudden someone feels intimidated, allegedly? Mm-hmm. Okay, to circumvent back around to our conversation. Why would somebody feel intimidated by the woman or the man if we've been together for this period of time and have established a solid relationship? Why would somebody become intimidated? That don't make any kind of sense.
Well, I think at that point is not.
Yeah,
I think that the intimidation conversation came in more like in the beginning, like dating in the beginning, meeting people. Like by the time you've been about to get married, or at that point where you got to decide whether you are or not, it shouldn't be no intimidation at that point.
Oh, but it is.
There's a difference with that, because I think a lot of issues with some of the relationships is the fact that people jump in relationships and fall in lust and think they're falling in love. So then they get married and all this stuff and realize, it's like you get married and divorced within a year. I tell people all the time, you don't know anybody within a year. You know who I showed you. I know who you showed me. Mm-hmm. But if we got married and divorced within a year, that's because we didn't know each other. I wasn't even sure if I liked you, but I fell in lust with you and I mistake that as love. Now we married, and now that we're having these real conversations, we're not on the same page. Mm-hmm.
But we don't. I think it's why people should take their time.
I'm not a believer in that. I believe you got to be friends first, because sometimes you're not going to always love that person. You're gonna. I tell people all the time, if you love somebody, they probably get on your nerve.
Yeah, but you have to. It's like, do you take, like, if you have like five, and this may not be a lot to other people, but if you have $5,000, are you just gonna close your eyes and invest in anything? Like, you're gonna take your time to get to know what you're investing in, so that you can be confident about your choice. It's the same with love. Love literally isn't all the butterflies and all the happiness all the time. It literally is like, yo, you are on my last nerve and I'm still choosing to be here. You play if you want to. Don't you go nowhere because we're going to make this work. Lust, not the same. And we've talked about that before. We've talked about that before.
Love is a decision, man. You decide to stick through that stuff, man.
But people evolve. We all evolve. And so where I'm going with this is, and I'm sticking with my guys in the corner with D and DB right now, which is, no, I'm serious, because what happens is, like I said, it's interesting to see people who've been together, and then we have this dynamic of someone allegedly feeling or is accused of being intimidated, because what tends to happen is, as we evolve, maybe there has been some type of elevation, and I think it was Andrea Dawson. She had mentioned that when we think about the term need, we think about finances. So I'm gonna put it in the context of finances. If the woman begins to make more money, even though we've been in this marriage or this relationship for 5+ years or whatever the scenario is, those dynamics begin to shift within the context of the relationship. And so when that starts happening, whether it's intentional or non-intentional, sometimes because of that evolution, now the relationship takes a different spin. And so again, I'm the devil's advocate. So then we have this battle of someone allegedly, and I use that term, feeling intimidated or being
now, but my question would be, when she's making more money, is she respecting the man the same? Is he not being respected the same? Because that could be a difference too.
But is he demanding the same respect though?
So what?
Is he demanding the same respect? Because see, here's the thing about it. You can be at a lower position and still be a commander in chief in your home. Exactly. You can still be somebody that somebody's willing to follow and thus feel like, you know what, hey, even better, because now I have more resources to which to help you, to guide us wherever it is we're trying to go. Sometimes we have to be honest, and sometimes some brothers bitch out. You know what I'm saying? Not saying a lot, and it's not an excuse, but you can still be in a lower economic stature and still establish yourself as a person worth following.
Yes,
absolutely.
If the relationship is about us and we, and it's ours, then that shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't, but
right?
It shouldn't, but we still have jobs to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my job is to be, a person worth following.
Absolutely.
So
it kind of goes back to the submission thing, because if she's making more money, she got to submit.
Correct. It goes back to the submission.
The money shouldn't matter if the relationship is on the ground it's supposed to be on.
It should.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
You said
I understand. So if it's not, we gotta figure out why it's not. We gotta get it right, or we gotta get the hell on.
Can we talk about the other end of the spectrum, though?
Yes.
Hold on, Zay was gonna say something in there.
Oh, go ahead, Zay.
Oh yeah. What I was gonna say is it shouldn't be a problem, but we also know there's women out there who will say your money is our money and my money is my money.
Yes.
That is where it becomes a problem. Because why is my money our money, but your money is your money? So
well, I mean, once you hear that, it's either a nay or a yay, depending on what you do.
That's the problem.
You establish at the beginning of your relationship. Like a lot of times people don't do that. They let anything go, and then now years later you want to establish, it can't be that way, but it's been that way.
You should just have one pot. How y'all
gotta
feel
pay
about
attention.
one pot? No, I mean all the money going in one pot.
Listen, if Shorty smoke all day and every time you around her, she ain't got no trees, but she want to burn up all your trees, that's a red flag. You can't be there a year later on and be like, yo, she using me for my money. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
That's it.
You got to pay attention early on.
That's what happens when you ignore the red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
A wise poet once said, never trust a big butt and a smile. A lot of guys do that, and they betray. Hey, and later on, the things start sagging. And
little booties matter though. Okay.
Little booties definitely.
Little booties matter. Okay, Mr. Chocolate, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You only need a handful, but
And listen, sisters, you gotta admit this, right?
What's that?
You guys may I'm hypothetically, right? Say you're going out on a girl's night. It doesn't always happen, but it happens every so often, right? You have that one friend that when they go to the bathroom, you and the rest of your girls be like, yo, she is really a bitch. Now, you wouldn't say it to anybody else, but you know this, right? Those women date too, right? So when you hear some of these women complain about, oh, I was a strong woman, no, you was just a bitch in strong clothing, dressed up.
Somebody need to stand up for that one.
And no
You know what I'm
man
saying?
is going to tolerate that.
Yep.
Not
Yeah,
intimidated.
but that's what happens. So people like that friend is the one that's in everyone's face. That bitch.
That's the one
is
on
the
YouTube.
that's the what you call that? That's the poster child for dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that makes the good ones run in their house and you can't find them. That's the problem.
Okay, because that's where I be.
Just be honest. That's the problem.
I ain't gonna lie. I'll be in the house.
That's the problem.
That's true because
you
that
know?
friend is one everybody sees, and that's the one that's all on the YouTube clips, and you know everybody else is at the house like, what in the hell is going on out here? You know, so yeah, you know, don't believe the hype. Everybody ain't on no weird stuff, but some of them are though.
I'm still mad about Kiki talking about Claire Huxtable. So.
Oh, that was correct, yo. I was gonna mention that. That was crazy.
Okay, so mention for people who don't know.
What happened?
Really? Go ahead, Dave.
Kiki Palmer's out of control.
What happened?
She's feeling herself right now, but who's gonna tell what happened with Kiki?
What happened?
Yo,
I need to hear this.
This sister said that Claire Huxtable was bougie.
Yeah, and she didn't keep it real.
And she
what?
Oh,
well, you got her. She's
she
young.
didn't keep it real.
She
definitely kept it real though.
Ain't she 30 something? She's out of control.
Is she 30 something?
Now I will say Claire was a bit bougie. She was.
That's what I'm saying, but she did
was.
Keep it real.
But
she was classy. She wasn't bougie. She was
classy.
classy.
She was bougie. No, she was bougie. But
hold on. I'll ask you one question. I'll ask you one question, right?
No, I ain't talking about my Claire. No.
Listen.
Hell no.
In the history of the show, have you ever seen Claire down anybody?
No.
Which I think is the epitome of bougie. You feel like you're better than other people. Does she have standards? Yes, but I've never seen her put anybody down.
Ever.
Yeah, like I said, she was a lawyer married to a doctor.
I guess extra classy, or I'll take extra classy then. I mean, if that's the definition.
Okay, all right. Let's not do that.
If that's the definition, I'll take away bougie. Yeah,
let's not do that to Claire.
I mean, I'm just, but she was a little dainty.
Listen, Kiki wanted to go out and have big fun with the wretched, and Claire wasn't with it, and that's all it was. She just wanted to have big fun.
Right. Is it that she had standards and
with the wretched?
So, really?
but you brought up a very good point. And I can see. Yeah, I'm with Tay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
All right. We submitting. We submitting.
Hey, you know, if you're a guy our age, man, Claire Huxtable, you can't try.
That's a good point. Whitney was bougie.
Whitney was bougie. Yes, Whitney was bougie.
That is bougie.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's bougie.
That was bougie
for sure.
With a capital B. Yeah.
Jack Gay from 227 was bougie.
Yes.
But not Claire.
And she was for the streets too.
Not Claire.
The second mom on Fresh Prince was bougie too.
Oh yeah.
The light skinned one. She was
the light skinned one. Yeah.
The light skinned one.
Man,
she was trying to keep a job. She see what happened to the dark skinned one. She was like, Sass don't work here.
Y'all are crazy. But
well, we're almost at an hour, so let's do some last thoughts.
Yeah, we'll start at the bottom.
He's like, I got some last thoughts. Go ahead, D.
Strong women are a beautiful thing. Your strength means that we can not have to worry about you at any given moment. Not that we are not necessary. And if a person feels not necessary, or if you feel like a man is not necessary in your life, then maybe you shouldn't be at the point where you're dating or entertaining people. Realize the difference between one that have companionship and one to be in a relationship. Choose. And Understand that strong men are strong enough to walk away from a situation that they don't feel is something they want to be a part of. And they have every choice to make that decision without being seen as less of a man.
Baby, you done took the
I
shit.
don't think we need no more final thoughts.
I mean,
He
can we
hit
get
one,
some?
two,
Come
three.
on,
Okay.
You
give me
got-
a snap for my man.
Look, you got all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Yes,
don't
he
need no
did.
other final thoughts. We good. Go ahead, Tyrone. Do your thing. Do your thing.
What you think, KB? What's your final thoughts?
You gonna make me go right after him, huh?
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't nothing else you
Who is supposed to follow that?
Somebody had to do it.
Look, I'll say this. I guess what was the original conversation was about men being intimidated by strong women. I'm gonna say this. This is how I feel. As far as my last thoughts, men just don't want a second mother. We all came up under a strong black mother, and we don't want to have to get on the phone, fight with our mom, and then come home and fight with our wife or girlfriend, about some of the same stuff. And I think we want you to trust us, even if we make a bad decision or if something doesn't go right. And I'm gonna give this one example, quick example before we go. I was listening to this guy some years back, and he was talking about how, him and his wife were driving somewhere, going to do something I can't remember. And this is before GPS, so they had directions. And he said, I was lost. He said, I knew I was lost. And he's driving. And she said, go by the gas station, get some directions. He said, no, I think it's, further down here. Let's just keep going. And then she started saying some stuff to him about why they were lost. And he said, look, I know I'm lost. You're supposed to help me. We're both lost together. Let's come together and figure out how to get out of this and get to where we need to go. So he was like, I don't need you to remind me that I'm lost. We're both lost. So the way I took that is, if I made a bad decision, I know I made a bad decision. I don't need for you to remind me I made a bad decision. I think that's where the submission comes in, because we're gonna make bad decisions. That's nature. We're gonna make a bad decision. We're gonna make a decision where, hey, we should have put some thought behind it and it didn't come out the way we wanted it to be. But just don't remind us, show us to trust, show the support. But we're not intimidated. That's me. I don't think we're intimidated, for generally speaking, most men. So let's just come together as a community, man, and let's just build, castles, man, for our families.
All right. Tay, what's your final thoughts for the night?
Sheesh. Okay. I'm gonna just add to KB and just say, that's a great example of understanding the need, and being able to communicate that need with your partner. And so I think it's important to, know yourself first, know what you're bringing to the table. It's more than just your finances. It's your health and wellness, your mindset, and your vision for yourself and for that other person. So just make sure, you're communicating, but you're also comprehending what's being communicated. So.
Okay. Dr. Roy Rain.
Sweetie, I don't even know what to say, because D put it out there, like, for real.
Yeah.
The only thing I guess I can contribute is simply the fact that everybody needs somebody in some form or fashion. So in all things, remember that you will never be a team of I, because either you're with someone that's supporting you or your higher being is supporting you, but you are never, ever completely alone.
Okay. All right, Zay, what's your final thoughts for the night?
I know, right?
I guess the only thing I can really put out there is to kind of answer the question, no. A real man is not intimidated by a strong woman. And in my opinion, almost if you can name a successful man, that successful man got a strong woman behind him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like Claire Huxtable.
Like Claire Huxtable.
There you go.
They tried to try Claire Huxtable. Man.
There you go.
I was offended by that one. Black Pearl, what's your final thoughts for the night?
I like what everyone else said. I think mine is a little different. I think that we need to evaluate what our definition of strength is. Strength does not have to be a singular thing. You could be, again, strong together. I think what we need to do is stop worrying about being strong and be wise enough to realize sometimes we're trying to make the wrong person fit into the right person category. Like you're trying to fit this round peg into a square hole. It's just not. It's not going to work out. So I think we need to pay attention to who we're trying to be strong with. Sometimes we're trying to align with the wrong people. So, yeah.
Okay. Man, that's that. Y'all guys are deep, man. Y'all are deep. Now, but my final thoughts is basically, man, I think we forget that we only need one, unless you're on that weirdo shit where you got, well, I don't mean disrespect to people.
Why you have to call it a weirdo thing?
I'm sorry.
He mean poly. That's what he means.
Yeah.
For me, it's good for other people. But you need only one, okay, or two or three if you into the. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. But so we think we need everybody. We don't need everybody. The ones who are in the streets, don't worry about them. Find that one that's for you. Okay, find your person that you're gonna need. All right. But everything everybody said, man, great discussion tonight. Appreciate everybody coming through. We gotta have you guys come back, man. I like this.
Absolutely. This was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
This felt good. I like this. Hey, clear your schedules, man. Clear them Wednesday nights. Be ready to answer the call. All right. So, business wise, right? All right. So you've been watching now. Not subscribe to the YouTube channel. You are wrong. You just sitting there wrong. So go on over there, YouTube, subscribe to the experience.
Bing.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the likes. If you're not part of the group, you wrong. You wrong. Join the group, get in the mix, comment. Hey, drop your posts,
Yeah.
and let's have a little community. Let's keep these conversations going. These
Tell
conversations
a friend.
must be
Tell a
had.
friend, tell a friend.
So tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. So, as always, you've been a part of the experience. With experience is always good. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.